Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your Vedic astrology coach Rajat Kapoor and welcome to my channel The Legit Astrologer. It is that time of the year when Mars finally is moving out of its debilitation sign and going to enter Leo. This is happening on 7th of June and Mars is going to stay in the sign of Leo till 28th of July. So the month of June and July is quite crucial. Aries ascendant signs or the Aries moon signs. Mars or Mangal holds an important lordship for you because it's your Lagna lord. It is the lord of the ascendant because it rules your first house. It also rules the sign of Scorpio, so it is your 8th lord as well. Mars for you rules yourself, your vitality, your immunity, who you are, your body, your intelligence. Lagna lord is one of the most important planet for any ascendant. Mars also has another lordship. He rules your longevity, transformation, suddenness in life. Mars is a significator here for Aries ascendant. It also looks at those people who are from different cultures, different background, and those people who you meet in life, your deep desires, your weaknesses, because we see Nij dosha from the 8th house. This Mars now is moving out of its debilitation sign. It has been making a transit in your 4th house. Now it is making a transit in your 5th house of future, progress, positional success, power. This is one of the Rajya Bhavas. We see kingdom from the 5th house. We also see a sense of corruption from the 5th house because with power comes corruption. And this is where we have to be careful. We see mantras from the 5th house. So it's a very important transit because Mars is making a yoga between June and July. This is quite an extraordinary time for you because for several months Mars has been going debilitated. It would have had an impact on your decision making in case you had an adverse dasha antardasha, but now it is having a much progressive transit in the 5th house. So firstly, your Lagna lord makes a transit in the 5th house, so it's a good time to make some progress, to plan for your future. Any mantras that you will use during this time could be beneficial for you, so you will have to put your energy and attention there. So Mars is the significator of energy, Leo is the fire sign, so there's too much fire, too much energy in your 5th house. So you could feel overburdened as well. You might be thinking too much about the future. So do not exaggerate. Take small steps at a time, right? Use mantras, use some sadhana or meditation to channelize these energies because you will have an overload of energy. And this is something which you have to manage. On contrary, your 8th lord is making a transit in the 5th house, so you're likely to gain some knowledge which is related to research. It is an excellent time to learn Jyotish, to learn astrology, or any of these subjects that involve research, where certain things are hidden. Mars is going to be aspecting your 8th house by the 4th aspect of protection and where this protection is coming from. So you are going to be protected by a transformation. So there could be some sudden events that you could expect over the next few weeks, but this will ensure that you are protected. So just be careful of course, your surroundings and where you are. Mars is also going to be in a mutual aspect with Rahu. Rahu is making a transit in your 11th house. Both of them are going to be in a mutual aspect. So you're likely to have some sort of illusion when it comes to your decision making because Rahu is overpowering Mars with this aspect. And this is where you have to be a little bit careful. Think before you decide and trust people judiciously, right? You have friends, but at the same time you can count on it, but beware of certain negative experiences of other people and take some good advice into account before making a decision. Mars will be also aspecting your 12th house by the 8th special aspect, and this is where Saturn is making a transit. So it's a good time for spiritual progress, for spiritual upliftment, but you have to take care of your sleep. So your sleep can be disruptive. So if you ensure that you sleep for 8 hours, it will ensure that your energy levels are pretty apt all through the day, and this is something which you must channelize. The remedy for you is to fix your sleep during this time and focus on spirituality. Have a nice morning routine in order to make the most of this transit. But this is bringing a big relief for all Aries ascendants and the moon signs. At least now you could think about the future, you can put your energy and attention there and use mantras related to Surya. Offer argh or water first thing in the morning to Surya Dev to ensure that you channelize your resources. Taurus ascendant signs or the Taurus moon signs. Mars for you holds two kinds of lordship. It rules one Kendra house and it rules one Dusthana house. It is the 7th lord and the 12th lord. So I always say that with Taurus ascendants who have prominent Mars, they always have some karma towards their spouse, towards their partner. Somehow, a lot of times their finances are dependent on their partner. I'm not saying that, you would not earn. Maybe you want your spouse to manage the money, to be the money manager, okay, to take care of all the budgetary activities in the house. This is something which I have observed in my experience. Because the 7th lord and the 12th lord are same. One who rules your marriage, your spouse. We call it Jaya Bhava. We see peace and war from the 7th house. Businesses are seen from the 7th house. Your ability to give others, donations are also seen from the 7th house because this is the house of Daya. So how giving are you in nature or how selfish are you? 12th house is the house of losses, expenditure, your ability to give, your ability to donate, your higher self consciousness. This Mars has been making a transit in the 3rd house, which is more of a mixed kind of result because Mars has been the significator of the 3rd house, but it was going debilitated. Now it is moving out of debilitation on 7th of June and entering your 4th house. Mars is also one of the significator of the 4th house because it is Bhumi Karak. We see lands, all kinds of assets that are related to lands are seen from the 4th house. Vehicles are also seen. This is where Venus becomes a Karaka. Now, this is where your 7th lord makes a transit to the 4th house. So you have to spend your energies and attention in doing some rejuvenation or probably some sort of work which is of personal interest to you that brings a sense of comfort in your life. Take up some hobbies, some interest. And if you involve your partner or your spouse into these activities, it could be spiritual, it could be travel, it could be something that you do outside of your work, and this could be quite beneficial for you. So you would like to build a good relationship. But there's a lot of fire in your 4th house, in your home, in your comfort space. And your 12th lord is making a transit in the 4th house. So those people who are probably looking forward to moving outside of their home country, this time period could be particularly favorable, could make you move places, or you might do some sort of renovation in your house, or you might get into some transaction related to real estate, particularly if you own a land, or you could look at maybe owning one in case your Dasha Antardasha is conducive. But yes, it is time for you to step out of your comfort zone. Make sure that you channelize your energies appropriately because you could have temperament issues that could create some sort of conflict with your spouse, with your partner. And this is where you need to manage these energies because the energies at home are quite high. There is greater firepower. Mars is going to be aspecting your 7th house by the 4th aspect. And where is this protection coming from? This protection is coming from your partner, from your spouse. They could go out of the way to help you. There is going to be passion, but there's going to be aggression as well that you will have to deal with over the course of next few weeks. Mars is in a mutual aspect with Rahu, who is making a transit in your 10th house. So one thing you have to be very careful in the next 2 months is that there will be overload of energy at workplace. There will be some unrealistic expectations that you will have to face. So this is where you will strike a balance. Learn the power of saying no, the art of saying no, and to strike a balance between your personal and professional life. This is where you need to draw a line because Rahu is overpowering Mars. It will make you step out of the comfort zone, but then you have to stay grounded. You must remember that. Mars is also aspecting Saturn, who's making a transit in your 11th house. So this period is quite good for financial gains because there are a couple of Dhan Yogas that are active. So in case you're expecting a financial rise or an increase in your income or another source of income, this time period could be positive for you. It could bring some good news. You must remedy and strengthen your Lagna Lord, Venus, because that is how you will make some good decisions. Worship Goddess Lakshmi, read Sri Suktam on a daily basis, and at the same time do anything that you can to strengthen your Ascendant Lord Venus. For Gemini ascendant signs or the Gemini moon signs, Mars is one of the functional as well as natural malefic planets. Firstly, it doesn't share a conducive relationship with your Lagna Lord, Mercury. And this Mars holds two lordships. One of them is the Dusthana, which is the 6th house, and the other is the 11th house. So all kinds of opposition in life, enemies, those people who are strongly opposed to you, okay, who oppose your views, your directions, your actions. Mars is primarily responsible for all of these people in your life. So this is where you have to be careful in Mars's transits. It is the sixth lord of opposition, your daily routines, deaths, diseases, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, your competition, your opposition. Sixth house also represents growth because this is the Upachaya house. Mars also rules the 11th house of Aya, of income. So it plays a very important role in any wealth making opportunities because we see material comforts from the 11th house, but we also see greater, bigger opposition from the 11th house. Bhavat Bhavam, 11th house is 6th from the 6th house. So this is where Mars could really bring some very strong opposition if it is adversely placed in the chart. Now this Mars is now making a transit in your third house of valor, courage, your efforts. Guru Upadesha is seen from the third house because this is what it denotes: message, blessings from your guru or your mentor. Communication is seen from the third house. Mars is said to be the natural significator of the third house. Therefore, it is now finally moving in a much comfortable position. Mars has been making a debilitated transit in the second house all the while, where it could have brought in some illusions, some woes at the financial level, some rift within family matters or lack of focus, some issues with your speech. Now it is moving in the third house on 7th of June. So June and July, Mars for you is said to be in a very comfortable position where it is the significator or karaka of the third house. So it will increase your courage, your valor to deal with all adversities over the next couple of months. Okay, there will be some karmas towards your sibling, towards your co-borns, in case you have siblings, particularly if they're younger, they might reach out to you for support and you will have to stand by them during this time. There is a lot of firepower in your communication, in your actions, and this is where you need to channelize these energies. So beware of any temperamental issues, any words that you probably use or your communication style. So you should not, appear to be authoritative or aggressive to other people. You need to be more assertive. And as a remedial measure, please do something where your hands are involved. Either you exercise in the gym, you write a journal, use a pen and paper, put your thoughts and invest your energy in writing something meaningful. This is how you will be able to channelize the energies of Mars. Work in your kitchen. Support your partner in the kitchen, regardless of your gender. This is also where you use your hands, and of course, Mars is closely associated to the kitchen related work because this is where the fire sits in the house. Now Mars is going to be aspecting your 6th house by the 4th aspect of protection. So your protection is going to come from enemy. So momentarily you are protected from any opposition in your life because you will develop the courage to deal with any form of enmity in your life. So this is where your protection is coming from. If you improve your daily routine, if you have a routine in place, Mars is going to be in a mutual aspect with Rahu. Now Rahu is your co-ninth lord. So some way it is overpowering Mars. So your 3-9 axis is pretty active. There could be travel, there could be short journeys. Go on a spiritual retreat to get enlightened over the next couple of months. This could be quite beneficial for you, right? Rahu is definitely overpowering because it has a much stronger aspect compared to Mars. Mars is also aspecting Saturn, who's making a transit in your 10th house by the 8th aspect. So your protection is coming from your work. So if you work, this is what will protect your job. This is what will improve your daily routine. So it is time to work really hard. However, for the next couple of months, you could have some difficulties in terms of making a good choice in terms of what you need to work. You could have some confusion. And this is where you need to clarify. Look up to your young Lord Mercury and try to strengthen Mercury to make the best decisions of your life and to channelize these energies. Cancer ascendant signs or the Cancer moon signs. Mars for you is an important planet. It is a Yoga Karaka planet because it rules one trinal house and one Kendra house. It is the 5th lord and the 10th lord. And I always say that 5th lord is one of the most important planet for any ascendant. And here for you, it rules 2 Rajya Bhavas or houses of kingdom. It is also the 10th lord. So firstly, 5th lordship, it rules your future, your positional success, your children, any decisions that you make pertaining to your future. some of the good deeds that you did in the past life and how it is going to manifest into a future is seen from the 5th house. Corruption is also seen from the 5th house. Mars becomes your mantresha or lord of mantras, whether that will work for you or not. 10th lord of karma, your actions in the society, what you do to survive and sustain yourself in this world. So this is a lot about work. Your duties are seen from Mars, who is the 10th lord. Now, what is happening during this transit? That Mars is going to be entering your 2nd house. So all the while it has been making a transit in your ascendant where it was debilitated. Now it is going to be entering in your 2nd house in the sign of Leo. So firstly, it is out of debility. It is forming a wealth yoga or dhan yoga in transit. Your 2-8 axis is pretty much active during this time because this axis represents your financial status and of course your sense of transformation. Rahu has been making a transit in the 8th house and both Mars and Rahu will be in a mutual aspect with each other. Rahu's aspect overpowers Mars. So one thing that you have to be careful of over the next few weeks is your speech, what you say, because the words that you use, you cannot take it back. There's a lot of firepower that is happening in your 2nd house. So invest your energy to make some sound futuristic financial decisions, futuristic decisions pertaining to your family. Definitely there could be a gain in your wealth, there could be a rise in your income, or you could have an additional source of income in case you're going through a conducive dasha antardasha. But Rahu is creating a lot of illusion in this matter, and this is where you must look up to Jupiter and try to strengthen your Jupiter. Remedy Jupiter in order to ensure that you gain maximum out of this transit. See, Mars for you is your 10th lord making a transit in the 2nd house. This is called a Simhasana Yoga. So certainly you could have some progression or positional success. If you're looking forward to getting promoted, this is the time for you to establish your business case. You will have to invest your energy and attention in all these matters. You can also go through some dietary changes for your betterment. And from a remedial point of view, ensure that you keep yourself hydrated. Drink 2 liters, 3 liters or an appropriate quantity of water based on your physical routine. And of course, if you work out, you might need a little more, but you need to ensure that you hydrate yourself to balance and manage these energies. Mars is going to be aspecting your 5th house by the 4th aspect of protection. So your protection is coming from your future. There will be some karma pertaining to your children. So they are likely to do well over the next few weeks. Mars is in a mutual aspect with Rahu, which I have already shared. So transformation is certainly inevitable, but be careful of your speech. Mars is also aspecting Saturn, who is making a transit in your 9th house. So you are the flag bearer of your dharma. One thing that you must protect during this time is your dharma, because your dharma or fortune is going to protect you. Somehow fortune would favor you because Mars is aspecting the 9th house by the 8th aspect, where your hard work, your dedication and your commitment is going to decide how long are you going to be protected. So this could be an excellent time to learn something new. Go for higher learning. Go for a spiritually uplifted travel. So if you were to travel, go to a spiritual place. This will be extremely beneficial for you. You will get some blessings, you will get some nice teachings which will enlighten you, which will ensure that you make some of the good decisions or the best decisions in your life. And this is where you can use mantras related to Mars, the Bij mantra or Mool mantra, or you could worship Lord Narasimha or Lord Kartikeya to gain most of this time. Leo ascendant signs or the Leo moon signs. This is where now you need to welcome Mars or Mangal in your Lagna, in your ascendant. This kind of a situation only comes in about an year and a half, and depending on your ongoing dasha, antardasha, pratantardasha, you can further relate to this transit. If of course you have prominent planets in any of these houses, you will have the most impact. Mars is a Yoga Karaka planet for you because it rules one Kendra house and one trinal house. It rules your 4th house of your comfort space, your happy space, your sense of protection, your home, homeland, your mother earth. Your mother is seen from the 4th house. Your hobbies and interests, things that make you feel happy, things that make you feel content. Your comfort space is seen from the 4th house. It is also the 9th lord of Bhagya, fortune. So Mars becomes your Bhagyesha. Therefore, it's a yoga karak. It represents your father. And I always say that Leo ascendants have a natural karma towards their parents because Mars is the ruler of 4th and 9th house, a common planet that rules your mother and also father. So there's a natural karma always towards your parents. And of course, it is giving you a lot of firepower in your ascendant. Mars also rules higher learning for you, long journeys, spiritual travel. Your ascendant, which is yourself, your vitality, your body, your immunity, who you are, there's a lot of firepower that Mars is ensuring during this time. Mars is naturally the ruler of the first house, and of course, it is forming a beautiful yoga during this time. You need to firstly protect your dharma because fortune will be favorable to you over the course of next few weeks. But you will have an overdose of energy, and this is where you need to manage, you need to channelize this energy. So you could be multitasking, you could be doing a lot of things over the course of next few weeks. One thing is that you will have a greater focus on your personal health, your vitality, your immunity, your well-being. So make sure that you exercise, you eat right, and you keep yourself hydrated to balance these fiery energies that are going on. On the negative side, you could develop temperamental issues. So you have to take control of your temperament. This is where you will remedy your Lord Sun in order to balance these things out. Remedy Surya. Offer water to Sun first thing in the morning, or you could also read Aditya Hridayam in case you need to probably go for some competition. This is where it will help you. Mars is going to be aspecting your 4th house by the 4th aspect of protection. So the protection really is coming from your home, from your comfort space. Maybe some things that you do as a personal interest could help keep the stress levels balanced over the course of next few weeks. But you must remember that your 1-7 axis is pretty active during this time because Mars is in a mutual aspect with Rahu. Rahu is making a transit in your 7th house. Rahu gains directional strength in the 7th house and it will overpower Mars by its 7th aspect because that's a more stronger aspect compared to Mars' 7th aspect. So somehow you have to be careful of making important decisions. You could have a little bit of a conflict with your father, with your guru or your teacher, or your seniors at work. There will be authority issues. So this is where you have to manage these discussions and of course the political scenario at your workplace. You need to focus on your karmas, focus on your duties. Most important for you. Definitely your partner can go out of the way to help you. There is a relationship karma. There could be conflict. You need to manage your temperament. As long as you do that and you become a good listener, you have a sense of understanding, you will be able to sail through this time. Mars is also aspecting Saturn, who is making a transit in your 8th house, supporting transformation, supporting longevity. And your protection is going to come from your hard work. And Saturn, in your case, represents your spouse because it's your 7th lord. So spouse or your partner, or you could have some relationship karma and that person will really go out of the way to help you, to support you during this time. This could be like a make or a break kind of a situation in relationship. Either you could establish a new relationship or you will have heavy karmas that you'll have to face in your existing relationship. You would need to manage your finances and this is where you can plan ahead of the time. There is also some karmas pertaining to your home. Declutter your house. Declutter your mind as well. Practice yoga, practice sadhana in order to channelize these fiery energies over the course of next 2 months. Virgo ascendant signs or the Virgo moon signs. Now Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Mercury and Mars share an inimical relationship. And from Virgo ascendants, Mars doesn't hold a good lordship. It is your 3rd lord and the 8th lord. So naturally it rules 2 of the difficult houses that seems to be. 3rd house is the house of valor, courage, your co-borns, particularly younger siblings, the house of your efforts. Change is seen from the 3rd house. We also see growth from the 3rd house because this is one of the Upachaya houses. We see blessings, message from your mentor or your guru. The Upadesha is seen from the 3rd house. We see communication from this house. Mars is also the 8th lord. 8th house represents your weaknesses because we see Nija dosha from the 8th house. Certain things that could overpower you and your mind in your life. We see debts from the 8th house. Longevity is seen from this house. Transformation, and that too something that is sudden in nature. Sudden change, sudden transformation. places that are across the sea, your secrets, hidden desires are seen from the 8th house. Spirituality is also seen from the 8th house. Mars has been going debilitated, but it was making a transit in your 11th house. So at least you would have got some results now based on the efforts that you put in the past. Now Mars is moving out of its debility and now entering your 12th house in the sign of Leo. So a lot of firepower in your 12th house. This Mars is forming a Viparita Yoga because it's your 8th Lord making a transit in the 12th house. Circumstances will go adverse. Eventually you will rise. I consider this transit as mostly good. Something that you have to fix is your health and well-being and your sleep. You can have irrelevant or unnecessary hospital visit, so be prepared for it. Either you have a choice, you can go for a regular checkup, routine checkup, right? Or you could fix your sleep in order to ensure that you have energy all throughout the day. Because there's a lot of firepower. Mars is fiery energy, Leo is a fire sign. So this is where you have to be careful. Sometimes you will have to put in more efforts because Mars rules effort for you. 12th house is the house of expenditure. So you need to, this is where expenses of your effort. So put as many efforts as you can. Do not shy away from doing it because circumstances will go adverse. Eventually you will rise. You will become more aware about yourself. You will become more resilient. You will become more mentally strong and capable. Look up to your young Lord Mercury. Strengthen Mercury. Use a Vishnu mantra that is a Dwadashakshari or 12 syllables. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is a mantra that you must use to channelize the energies of Mars. Mars is aspecting your 3rd house by the 4th aspect of protection. Your efforts will protect you. Your communication will protect you. The ability to change your siblings will play a vital role in terms of your protection. Mars is in a mutual aspect with Rahu because there is Rahu making a transit in your 6th house. Rahu will ensure that you overcome your enemies, and this Rahu's aspect is overpowering Mars. This gives me a greater sense of requesting you to fix your sleep and make sure that you do something to ensure that you're energetic all through the day because you will feel low on energy. And this is where consciously you need to have a morning routine. You have to stay active all through the day and hydrated as well. Mars is also aspecting Saturn, who's making a transit in your 7th house. Now Saturn gains directional strength in the 7th house, but your protection is going to come from your spouse here. There is certain karmas, so there could be coldness and aggressiveness with regards to the relationship that you have with your spouse. And this is a karma that you have to deal with over the next few weeks. You might park some important decisions related to your business for the next few weeks. In case it is important, go for it. It will also depend on your time period, the dasha that you're running. But if an important decision pertaining to your business can wait, it is much better for you. Devotion is a good remedy for you. The more devoted are you during this time, you will be able to channelize these fiery energies over the next 2 months. Mostly I consider this as good. For Libra ascendant signs or the Libra moon signs, Mars is now moving out of its debilitation. It has been making a transit in Cancer and will now be entering Leo. For Libra ascendants, Mars holds 2 lordship. It is your 2nd lord and the 7th lord. So on one hand, it rules the house that represents your family, your wealth, things that you accumulate. It is the house of accumulation, storage. Your consumption is seen from the house. The fulfillment for yourself, because since it's 2nd from your ascendant, so how fulfilling your life would be is seen from the 2nd house itself. Mars also holds the 7th lordship, 7th lord of Jaya Bhava, which is peace and also war. We see your sense of giving, how giving you are towards other people, because this house also is known as Daya Bhava. We see your business, all those people, things and events that are opposite to you, your outer world of social life, your outer world of people, things and events are seen from the 7th house and its lord. Now Mars has been making a transit in your 10th house in a debilitated state. Now it is going to enter in your 11th house in the sign of Leo. So a lot of firepower is going to be there in your 11th house between June and July. Mars is a natural malefic. It is also a functional malefic in your case. I would rather say a neutral disposition because it's your 2nd lord as well and it rules one Kendra. And Mars being a natural malefic does very well in the 11th house. 11th house is one of the highest, it is the highest upachaya bhavas or the houses of growth. 3, 6, 10 and 11. And 11th is the highest. So it does very well. So a lot of firepower in the house of gains, in the wider social network. We see friends and also enemies from this house. Your opposition, competition is seen from this house. And of course, your sense of fulfillment. This is also the house of illusion, because we live in the world of illusion itself. All right. So what is happening here? Mars is your second lord making a transit in the 11th house. It is forming a dhan yoga, a wealth yoga. If you're going through a conducive dasha antardasha, you could have some gains during this time. Your partner or your spouse is also likely to have some gains or a rise in income, rise in status. Positional success could be seen during this time. You must remember that Mars is in a mutual aspect with Rahu. Rahu is making a transit in your 5th house. Mars is making a transit in the 11th house. Rahu is your co-5th lord. So it's in a comfortable position moving in Aquarius. But this Rahu is overpowering Mars by its 7th aspect drishti. Mars is also having an aspect, but that's mere 50%. So somehow there could be some conflicts related to other people, related to your friends. So this time period you have to be careful of other people. Though Rahu is going to overpower, so this is good for you. Mars has 3 aspects in total. So firstly, it's going to be aspecting your 2nd house by the 4th special aspect. So what is being protected? Your wealth, your finances, your family matters, your speech, what you say, what you consume, your food is being protected during this time. So of course, you can make some very important decisions pertaining to your finances, pertaining to your investment. And Mars has a special 8th aspect which is falling on your 6th house, where there is Saturn making a transit in the sign of Pisces. So this protection of your wealth is going to come if you improve your daily habits, if you take care of your daily routine. So something needs to change. So this time period could really see you changing your habits for good, giving up some of the bad habits and adopting some of the good habits, being in contact with some good people who could probably help you in this journey. So your 5-11 axis is also pretty active. Rahu is making a transit here. If you use mantras, you will probably face an issue being consistent in terms of using those mantras. But you should look up to Bajrang Bali. You should look up to Lord Hanuman. Read Hanuman Chalisa during this time to channelize the energies of Mars, because there is firepower. There could be some authority issues that you might have to face during this time. But if you have people working for you, if you have people working under you, your subordinates, your juniors, make sure that you take care of them. Because what happens is that Mars in the 11th house in a fiery sign gives a sense of authority to the individual. So you could develop ego. And this is where you have to practice humility. You have to have a grounded approach in terms of dealing with these people. And of course, make use of your elevated financial position over the next few weeks. For Scorpio ascendant signs and the Scorpio moon signs, Mars is your Lagna lord. It is the lord, the ruler of the ascendant. Therefore, it is a very important planet, and every time Mars changes signs, that happens within 45-50 days, it matters for you. Your ascendant lord has been going through a debilitated transit since a long time. It has made a transit in Cancer. It was also going retrograde. Now it is moving out of debility and entering Leo on 7th of June. Until 20th of July, it is going to stay in the fiery sign of Leo. This transit is happening in your 10th house. Mars in 10th house gains directional strength, or is Digbali. Therefore, there are blessings of Sri Hari, Lord Vishnu during this time, and you need to look up to him. When your ascendant lord makes a transit in the 10th house, it is forming a yoga. Because it rules trinal house, it is moving in the Kendra house, and it is bringing a lot of firepower at workplace, because 10th house represents your work, your karmas, your actions in the society, what you do to survive and sustain yourself in this world. Mars is the ruler of your Lagna, yourself, your vitality, your immunity, who you are. Mars also rules the 6th house of competition, of debts, diseases, your health and well-being, things that you do on a day-to-day basis. We see job from the 6th house as well. So job prospects and matters are likely to improve over the next couple of months, because you will be very energetic when it comes to newer and better opportunities from a work point of view. but there will be an overflow of energy. So this is where you need to channelize, you need to manage this, because you must remember that Rahu is making a transit in your 4th house, asking you to step out of your comfort zone. Mars is in the 10th house, though Mars is in a stronger disposition, but this Mars is in mutual aspect with Rahu, and Rahu's aspect would try to overpower Mars because it is a bit strong. This is where you need to remedy Mars, you need to strengthen it, or you need to look up to your Jupiter. Okay, and this is how you would probably channelize the energies of Mars. Worship Lord Vishnu, look up to Sri Hari, and of course you will sail through this time. Mars is aspecting your 1st house by the 4th aspect. So you are responsible for your own protection, for your own decisions. You have to take things in your own hands. Work situation scenario is definitely going to improve drastically if you take the right steps, the right measures. Make sure that you keep yourself hydrated when you are at work, and you must do some decluttering exercise. Clean your space. Mars is also aspecting Saturn, that is making a transit in your 5th house by the 8th special aspect. So you are responsible for protecting yourself, and how long are you going to be protected? That depends on your future planning. So you need to plan for your future. Children are going to play a very important role. Your unconditional love and certain interest in relationships could play a very important role in your protection and ensuring that it lasts really long. And this is where you might have to take some very important decisions that are pertaining to your workplace. In case things have slowed down in the last few weeks, few months, of course your decision making would have been weak in the last few months. Now is the time to strengthen your dharma, strengthen your religion, your bhagya, because Mars has moved out of Cancer. Now it's in your 10th house. It is a pretty strong Mars, and this is how you need to channelize the energies. You need to exercise each and every day. Do something or the other, because when it's in Karma Bhava, it requires you to stay active all through the time, because Mars also rules your 6th house. Scorpio ascendants have a natural karma to have a battle at work, war at work, because 8th sign, which is Scorpio, is the own sign of Mars, right? The sign of Aries is the Mool Trikon sign of Mars, which is 6th from its home. So it's always a constant battle at work. And you are responsible to bring in a fresh perspective. Get some interesting projects. Work on your personal branding. Make your presence felt. Showcase, highlight your achievements and what you have been doing, and you will have a very successful work situation over the next few weeks. Sagittarius ascendant signs or the Sagittarius moon signs, Mars is an important planet for you because it's your 5th lord. It is the one who rules your future, positional success. This becomes the mantresha, or the planet that rules mantras, whether mantra based remedies will be good for you or not. It represents your children, because we see children from the 5th house. Unconditional love is also seen from the 5th house. 5th house is also the house of corruption, because with power comes corruption, and this is one of the Rajya Bhavas. Mars is also your 12th lord of higher self-consciousness. The house where you rest, your sleep, expenses, losses, your ability to be more self-aware is seen from the 12th house and its lord. Mars has been going through a debilitated transit in your 8th house. It was getting Nichbhanga. However, it was in debility. Now it is moving out of debility. It is entering your 9th house on 7th of June, and the next 2 months nearly of this transit, Mars is going to be in your 9th house. So 5th lord, 12th lord making a transit in the 9th house is a yoga in transit. 9th house represents your dharma, your bhagya, your fortune, long journeys. Your 3-9 axis is pretty active. This time period could bring foreign journeys, could bring fruitful travel. If you don't take up foreign travel, go on a spiritual travel. Go on a retreat or a vacation. Perhaps time to spend time with nature and try to connect with the nature. 12th lord making a transit in the 9th house. This foreign journeys could be related to work. If you have been looking forward to settling outside of the home country and travel outside of the home country for a permanent settlement, this time period could be fruitful for you, in case your dasha antardasha is supportive, because Mars rules future for you. So this could also be work related travel. You need to be the flag bearer of your dharma. You need to be the protector of your dharma, because there's a lot of energy that is there in your ninth house. Somehow you could deviate from your path, you could move to a different path, and this is something which you must ensure that you protect, because Mars is your 12th lord. It rules devotion, so be devoted to someone over the next few weeks. There is certain relationship karma which is there, because when Mars makes a transit in the ninth house, it is not good for relationship. There could be some conflict, there could be some communication issues in your relationship. You need to manage your ego, and at the same time you need to manage your aggressiveness as well, the firepower. Make sure that you keep yourself hydrated. See, Mars is having a mutual aspect with Rahu. Rahu is making a transit in your third house. So this time period calls for some guidance, some message or blessings from your mentor, your teacher, or a guru, because Rahu is trying to overpower this Mars and forcing you to deviate from the path of righteousness. And make sure that you stay ethical in your decision making. Any decisions that you take pertaining to your work, pertaining to your personal life, there are no shortcuts to success. You must remember that. See, Mars is having two other special aspects. Besides, of course, aspecting your third house by the seventh aspect of desire, you must go on journeys. You must look at starting something new during this time. Mars is also aspecting your 12th house by the fourth aspect. Your spirituality is being protected, so you need to focus on some spiritual activities. You will improve your sleep. Mars is also aspecting your fourth house, where Saturn is making a transit. That is the eighth special aspect. Your mother is going to play a very important role in the overall protection of your expenditure. So take some advice of your mother into account if you were to manage your expenditure. And expenditure should be on good deeds. Spend on dharma, spend on your religion, do some charity, offer donations to temples, to gurudwaras, to church, to place of worship, anything that you believe in. You must be connected to your dharma over the next few weeks. Chant mantras related to Mars. Bij mantra of Mars will be very good for you over the next 2 months, and this is quite a progressive transit for you. Capricorn ascendant signs or the Capricorn moon signs. Mars for you, I consider it as more of a neutral planet because it rules one Kendra house. It is your fourth lord of happiness, the Sukh Bhava. So Mars becomes Sukhesha, the planet that could probably govern happiness, your comfort space. This is where we see safety, security, your home, your mother, your assets, vehicle, property, real estate. All of these things are seen from the fourth house, the lands that you own. Mars also becomes the ruler of the 11th house, of income, of ire, your gains, material success. This is also the house of illusion, your wider social network, your friends. Bigger enemies are also seen from the 11th house. This Mars has been making a debilitated transit in your 7th house and also Maran Karak in the 7th house. It was a double whammy kind of a situation for the last few months, bringing in relationship karma, bringing in certain concerns. Now Mars is moving into the 8th house in the sign of Leo, in the fiery sign of Leo. So finally it is out of debility. So your fourth lord making a transit in the 8th house is an indication, because 8th house represents longevity. It represents suddenness in life, sudden ups and downs, your secret desires. You need to invest time in taking up matters that are of personal interest to you. Your personal well-being, health should be the number one priority over the next few weeks. You need to take a pause, take a step back and prioritize your well-being. Transformation is inevitable, and that would begin from your home. You likely to do some reconstruction, some renovation at your home. Either this could be change of setting. So make sure that you check each and every corner of your house, and if there are places that are decluttered, particularly south or southeast of your home, if that is decluttered, you need to clean it during this time. You need to make sure that it is neat, tidy and well maintained. Mars is also 11th lord making a transit in the 8th house. So if there are any inheritance related decisions, you can gain from it. This signifies unearned sources of income. So you could create some surprising sources of income during this time. Your 8-2 axis is pretty active. So there could be a possibility that you might have to deal with your finances and make some long-term financial decisions. See, Rahu is making a transit in your 2nd house. Mars is in the 8th house. They are having a mutual aspect. Rahu is your co-second lord. Saturn, who's your Lagna lord, is making a transit in the 3rd house. Rahu is trying to overpower Mars by the 8th aspect. Make sure that you prioritize your well-being. Make sure that you visit a hospital to get a routine health checkup at a karmic standpoint, because you could have minor health issues. You will have to deal with it during this time. Practice yoga, sadhana, meditate. You are likely to build your fundamentals. Your fundamental education is seen from the 4th house, and 8th house is the house of transformation. So you're going to probably go back to your roots and try to understand your value system and build a strong value ecosystem around you. Now this Mars is also aspecting your 11th house by the 4th special aspect. Your gains are being protected, your wider social network and your material comforts that are being protected during this time. Your friends are being protected, and this protection is going to come from your 3rd house, because Mars has a special 8th aspect on your 3rd house. So the more efforts you make during this time, higher are your chances of gains. Saturn, the Karaka for discipline, is making a transit in the 3rd house. Over the course of next few months, I would highly encourage you to get a mentor, a guru, someone who you could look up to in order to make the best decisions of your life, in order to get some guidance. Even this could be a reassurance. All right. So you will have an overflow of energy when it comes to efforts. You will have to put in more efforts. But if you put efforts, you will gain. You will have a rise in your income. You will make more money. You will improve your finances. This is a very clear message, and this is how you need to channelize the energies of this Mars. Worship Lord Hanuman. Look up to him if you were to ensure that your efforts give you long-lasting results. Aquarius ascendant signs or the Aquarius moon signs. I again consider Mars as more of a neutral planet for you because it rules one Kendra house. So it has an important lordship. Besides being your 3rd lord, Mars also rules the 10th house. 10th house of karma. Your actions in the society, your work, your profession is seen from the 10th house. The job that you see is seen from the 10th house. This is one of the Rajya Bhavas, or represents kingdom. So positional success is seen from the 10th house and what you will do to survive and sustain in this world. Mars also rules the 3rd house of valor, courage. Your siblings, particularly younger, co-borns. Your efforts are seen from the 3rd house. Growth is seen from this house because this is one of the Upachaya Bhavas. We also see communication and change. It means many different things. Mars has been making a debilitated transit in your 6th house. Now it is going to enter Leo on 7th of June in your 7th house. Mars is said to be Maran Karak, or it is a death-like position in the 7th house. So I don't consider this as a much auspicious position, but Mars is in a fiery sign of Leo. So there's a lot of firepower in the 7th house. Firstly, when Mars is in the 7th house, you do get some ardent follower. Your spouse can go out of the way to help, to protect you, to guide you, to give you some nice advice. And of course, there is certain relationship karma that you will have to fulfill over the next 2 months. You could also take some important decisions related to your business. You will see an increased effort because Bhavat Bhavam concept, 10th Lord is making a transit in the 7th house, which is 10th from itself. So this is a time to take some important decisions related to your business. There could be a change. You could start something new. You could probably add a new line of work or a new line of product to your business. This could be a favorable time for these matters. There will be an overflow of energy when it comes to those people who are opposite to you. So there will be huge expectations. People will probably expect you to go out, be social, connect with people, mingle with people, go, maybe party, do something. But you would probably feel very difficult to deal with these kind of energies and people. You would want to probably take a step back, reflect, rejuvenate, spend time with yourself, introspect, reflect, and try to deal with these energies. Mars is connecting to your Lagna. There is Rahu who's making a transit in your ascendant. So Rahu is trying to overpower this Mars with a mutual aspect because Rahu's aspect is very strong. This is good for you because Rahu is your co-Lagna Lord. So your decision making will be right. Any decisions that you take with regards to your relationship, business, those people who are opposite to you, you're likely to take the correct decision. Alright. So this is how you read this transit. Now Mars will also be aspecting your 10th house by the 4th special aspect. So your work is being protected during this time, your business and whatever you do. And in case you're looking for new opportunities, this can open new doors, new avenues for you. You could probably look back and work with some people that you worked with in the past. There's also a karma there. Now Mars is also aspecting your 2nd house where Saturn's making a transit, and that is the 8th aspect of how long you're going to be protected, where this protection is going to come from, and this house represents your family, your finances. So your family and your wealth, your money is going to ensure that you are protected, your work, your job is protected. So some use of savings, good time to make some sound long-term investment related decisions in case your Dasha Antardasha is supportive, in case the time period it is conducive for you. You could have temperamental issues because there is firepower in the 7th house, your 1-7 axis is involved. So of course, you could probably be a little authoritative or you might sound aggressive to other people. So make sure that you channelize these energies. Keep yourself hydrated in order to ensure and avoiding any digestion or stomach related issues or any hormonal issues. You need to ensure that you keep yourself hydrated all through the time. And this will help you balance the Agni Tattva and maintain your levels of energy, because you could feel lethargic over the next few weeks, and this is something which you must maintain. Pisces ascendant signs or the Pisces moon signs. Mars is an important planet for you because it's your Bhagyesha. It is the ruler of the 9th house. Besides being the ruler of the 9th house, it is also the ruler of the 2nd house. Therefore, Mars plays a very important role in wealth related matters, in your finances, because both these houses, 2nd and 9th house, these are Lakshmi sthans, Lakshmi Bhav. We see wealth from these houses. 2nd house is the natural house of Dhan. Mars becomes Dhanesha besides being Bhagyesha. We see your family from this house. Your consumption is seen from this house. What you eat, what you consume, your storage space, your sense of protection. Your family is seen from this house. It is the Kutumbha Bhava. Your sense of fulfillment, the fulfillment of your Lagna is seen from the 2nd house, which is yourself. Mars also is your Bhagyesha, ruler of the 9th house of fortune, Bhagya, your religion, lineage, your father or father figure. Long journeys are seen from the 9th house. This Mars is finally moving out of its debilitation sign. It has been going in a debilitated state for the last few months, causing a disruption in the level of energy. Now Mars is going to make a transit in your 6th house. 6th house of daily routine, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, your health and well-being. We see Shad Ripus from the 6th house, which are weaknesses of your mind. We see job from the 6th house as well. 6th house is the house of growth because it is the Upachaya Bhava. Mars is a functional malefic for you, but a natural malefic. Being a natural malefic, it does very well in the 6th house. It is likely to do well in 3rd house, 6th house, 10th house and the 11th house. So this is where you will be able to overcome and defeat your enemies over the next couple of months, because Mars shares a friendly relationship with your Lagna Lord Jupiter. So any competition that you will face, you will overcome. You're likely to have some gains from your job, a rise in your income, or you would do some repayment of your debts, because your income, your status is likely to increase over the next few weeks. One thing that you must do from a remedial measure in your daily life, you will have overflow of energy and you need to channelize this energy. Go for some exercise, either go to gym, do yoga, go for running, go for walk, do something or the other to try and stay active all through the day. You could develop some digestive issues over the next few weeks. So take care of your system, take care of what you eat, what you consume, because this will be directly related to your diet. This gives you all the more reason to stay hydrated and make sure that you have an active routine. You could have a change in your job. You could have a new opportunity in case your Dasha Antardasha is supportive. You could be starting a new job, and this could be a good job because fortune is favorable. Mars is aspecting your 9th house by the 4th special aspect. So your Bhagya, your fortune is being protected. Your religion, your dharma is being protected. And this is something wherein you have to make the most of this time. Now Mars is involved in a mutual aspect with Rahu. Rahu is making a transit in your 12th house of higher self-consciousness. Rahu is trying to overpower this Mars by the 7th aspect. Worship Lord Hanuman. Read Hanuman Chalisa on a daily basis in order to give the correct strength to Mars. And he will take care of Rahu as well. So your 6-12 axis is pretty active. You need to have a regular spiritual discipline or some practice. Ideal is to have a morning routine. So first 30 to 45 minutes of the day, what you do, some prayers or of course meditation, yoga, would really be very beneficial to ensure that your rest of the day is good. Mars is also aspecting your first house. So you are the one who is protecting your bhagya, your journeys. You are responsible for it. Go on a solo travel. This could also be quite good for you because you will have some rejuvenation. You will be able to reflect. Saturn's making a transit in your ascendant, which is slowing things down. Now Mars is aspecting this Saturn. It is going to momentarily pick up the pace, speed up things. Certain things which were getting delayed, now you will see the result because Mars is trying to overpower Saturn. And it will avoid any lethargy. Of course, you will build discipline over the next few months. But this time period, there is no scope of lethargy. You will have to stay on your toes, active all through the time. Besides remedying Mars, look up to your Lagna Lord Jupiter and use mantras related to Jupiter. A simple Shiva mantra could be good for you. That is Om Namo Bhagavate Sada Shivaya. Look up to him and you will have a progressive time. So friends, this was yet another unique video on Mars's fiery transit in the sign of Leo, the transit that all of us have been waiting for. It is moving out of debility, now entering Leo. I hope and believe Mars's energy helps us plan for our future, gives us the success that we aim for and we desire for. Thank you very much. God bless you all.